creating a national electricity transmission system to enable renewable development in remote regions. It will cost billions of dollars. There is no argument over that point. What is looming in Washington is the question of who will pay that cost. Clean Sky's Margaret Ryan joins us now with more after a conversation, Margaret, with some big guns in the transmission industry.
That's right, Tyler. Well, high voltage transmission lines cost $1 to $10 million a mile, and it'll take thousands of new miles to bring wind from the plains and solar from the deserts to those urban load centers, as the Obama administration wants to do. Now, legislation pending on Capitol Hill generally gives FERC the job of deciding how to fairly allocate those massive interstate costs. And yesterday, at an Energy Daily conference, the current and just past chairman of FERC sounded very similar ideas and similar cautions. Jon Wellinghoff and Joseph Kelliher agreed. Costs have to be kept reasonable for consumers, but increasing grid interdependence and issues like climate change mean both benefits and costs extend far beyond a single utility or state.
Several bills now under consideration in Congress would find a broad public interest in developing at least the transmission infrastructure needed to accommodate the nation's renewable energy potential. I've suggested to Congress that if it determines that there are such benefits, then it may wish to clarify the Commission's authority to allocate such transmission costs to all benefiting entities within an interconnect or part of an interconnect.
But the change in how the grid operates, I think, requires a change in cost allocation. If an expansion has regional benefits, cost allocation should be regional. However, it's impossible to define the benefits of cost allocation on a specific project with metaphysical certainty. Even if possible to do so at a particular point in time, such precision would be ephemeral. Changes in grid operation from generation additions and retirements, demand changes, market developments, and other grid expansion will alter regional benefits. So for that reason, I think there's a need for broad FERC rules on regional cost allocation to clear the way for grid investment. And that cost allocation is a particular problem for renewable energy generators. Most of the best wind and solar sites are located in regions remote from the grid, where there are persistent constraints on transmission capacity. Narrow cost allocation will forestall renewable energy development in the United States.
Now, interconnect, that could mean charging, for instance, all ratepayers east of the Rockies for a single project. Regulators are already seeing protests about transmission projects that may improve regional grid reliability, but they're seen as distant by ratepayers. For instance, Maine regulators recently questioned why their ratepayers should share the cost of upgrades in the New England grid for reliability because it was happening in Connecticut. Now, in the Senate Energy Committee, Tennessee Republican Bob Corker recently got an amendment into the Senate Energy Bill which requires regulators to quantify the benefits ratepayers are getting. Wellinghoff joined the renewables advocates who say the larger benefits of low carbon and clean generation can't be that easily put into numbers.
I think the Senate bill, the initial Senate bill did have language in there that did provide for that type of cost allocation authority, but there was an amendment put in, I believe it's by Senator Corker, the Corker Amendment, and that amendment seems to be very restrictive because it seems to require us to be very precise in our calculation of benefits. And when you look at benefits that may spread across an entire region, and when you look at benefits that may include reliability benefits and economic benefits and other benefits with respect to those systems, I think precise quantification is going to tie us up in the courts forever.
And this issue is tough even for the top decision makers. Interior Secretary Ken Salazar told the conference yesterday an interagency cabinet group is shaping transmission policy for the president. And he was asked what the group thought about cost allocation.
Our work at the cabinet level is work that has been going on for now 4 months. And we are in the position of putting together essentially what is our decision memorandum relative to how we will move forward. And those will be recommendations that we as a cabinet group, along with FERC, will deliver to the President and to Congress. In the proposal that we're working on, we will address cost allocation, and there are several options that are being looked at. We have not yet reached a decision on what our recommendation will be, but I expect that we will do that very soon.
Now, Wellinghoff is also in that group, and he told reporters at the conference the recommendations should be completed in the next 2 months. Tyler?
All right, Margaret, Ryan, very comprehensive report on transmission issues. Thank you very much.